Anyway, the WWE Tag Team title was on the line, and I don't know why after I've seen the match. With the Motor City Machine Guns versus Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Sameface Gargano. 2 out of 3 falls. And they did 3 falls in 15 minutes. Not that I was advocating they should have gone longer, but I will never get Gargano, okay? So I'm not even going to go any further. Him or his lovely wife. It's people that can do moves that have no star look, no physique, no over-the-top personality, no great ability to cut promos, no incredibly gripping television presence. They're trained move doers. But anyway, everything the Guns do is perfectly executed. It's they're sharp, their teamwork is great, but they started off so fast, especially after an hour and 15 minutes of 30 women wailing on each other. I feel like they ran off and left the people, and they started with a flurry. They stopped the Guns for a little brief heat on Sabin in the first 2 minutes. And then Shelley got a tag. Ciampa was reaching for a tag, and Gargano pulled his hand away, so Ciampa didn't make it. So due to that, the referee was flummoxed, and the opponent was flummoxed, and Shelley had started his comeback, but turned into a knee lift by Ciampa. 1, 2, 3 in like 3 minutes, the first fall. No reaction. Totally flat. The people didn't get it. And the announcer, whatever her name is, with the Star Trek hairdo, instead of saying, the first fall goes to, or so-and-so has scored the first fall, she would only say, so-and-so have scored a fall. And if the people in the stadium weren't paying attention, 2 out of 3 fall, because when's the last time they had a 2 out of 3 fall match in the WWE? Then they're like, what the fuck, is that it? Is it over? And there was no star power in the match or anything that was presented at this level when they're expecting to see Cena and Punk and Drew and blah, blah, blah. So the people just kind of sat there for this thing. Second fall, they got heat on Shelley. Sabin made a comeback, and they hit their neckbreaker splash finish, 1, 2, 3, no pop. And in the third fall, the Guns had Gargano about to beat him, and some guy in a hoodie jumped up on the apron and drew the referee. It was Montez Ford, and Dawkins came in and hit Shelley with a crutch. And then Ciampa and Gargano double knee lifted Shelley, 1, 2, 3. And then the Street Profits beat up Gargano and Ciampa with the crutch after they'd beaten the Machine Guns and left them laying, and people were up a little bit for the crutch action, but what'd you think?
Not comparing the workers or the work or anything else.
Right.
But it reminded me of Rock and Roll Express vs. Heavenly Bodies after Survivor Series in 93.
Okay, I agree with that too.
No matter what you did, that crowd didn't care. But that was a different situation. The Rock and Roll Express weren't on WWF TV. There was not a feud with a WWF audience history. These guys are on SmackDown every week. And that crowd did not care. There were no reactions. There were no hot tags that caused anyone to react. And the pins, the finishes of every fall, no one gave a shit. I wanted to like this match, and I couldn't get into it at all. And the fans didn't get into it. And it was one of those matches where if there was crowd energy, it may have felt different, but I really didn't like it.
Well, and that's the thing. And you said they're on SmackDown. The referees are on SmackDown every week, but people don't really jump up and down and get warm, fuzzy feelings. For them, it's not only how they're presented, where the tag teams are all, and they're fucking around with Purely Deadly or whatever their fucking names is, the tag team division in this little quagmire they're in. But also, these people are 70,000 people in a stadium. And they came to see stars. They paid big ticket prices. And they send out guys that are presented, no matter how good they may be. And I'm a fan of 3 out of the 4 people in the match. they're, not the big box office guys. They're like the fucking opening act, and we've already seen an hour and 15 minutes with a lot of stars, and now we got to sit through this. And what's the 2 out of 3 fall thing? What? And it didn't work in this environment. Pity, as they say. But guess who was at ringside, Brian?
I don't remember at this point who was there. I'm not sure.
Well, there was Ron Simmons, and there was Rick Steiner, and there was right. RVD, but the biggest name, I don't know why he wasn't the one singing the national anthem instead of that girl that looked like she was scared shitless, John Mellencamp, right there at the big stadium to see the Royal Rumble. The little bastard himself. He was born in a small town. Did you know that, Brian?
You can see it on his face. He looked miserable.
And he lived in a small town. He'll probably die in a small town, and fairly soon, given the state of the way he looked.
He gave the most half-hearted smile for a man that must have gotten those tickets for free.
He doesn't. He's not a happy person. That's not his gimmick. He doesn't smile.
Well, ain't that America?
You and me,